Well, hello, and thanks for watching another episode of ARFCOM News, your twice-weekly dose of the finest 2A propaganda. So Kamala Ding Dong finally published her gun policy, and it's, predictable.
Jack's complete lack of surprise.
Her plan is to ban assault weapons as soon as she makes up her mind what those are, impose a universal gun registry, and allow estranged family members and spiteful neighbors to send armed men to your home without warning to take some of the guns that you didn't hide beforehand. And if Congress won't act, she'll issue a royal proclamation that it may be so throughout the realm.
The problem is that Congress has not had the courage to act. And that is why, from the beginning, I have said, my agenda includes attempting to get Congress to act, but if they don't within the first 100 days of my administration, I'm going to take executive action. Because what we need is action.
Can she do it? Hard to say which way Congress is going to go, but it's worth pointing out, Harris's coaches made sure she avoided any mention of gun control in the debate, which has got to sting if you're a police state enthusiast, hoping she'll really give it to the gun humpers this time. It doesn't exactly speak to a wealth of confidence that talk about gun control will win the election, so it's entirely possible she loses interest in gun control if she wins. But the short answer is, yeah, one way or another, it is likely that Kamala Harris would impose some of that wish list on us, at least temporarily.
Also, you are to wear these clown shoes and refer to yourself as Mary.
Oh, you, man. I'm not doing it.
I have altered the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
But it would be impossible for us to deliver quality 2A propaganda without sponsors, so let's pay some bills. Today's video is sponsored by Franklin Armory. Anything worth shooting is worth shooting twice, and now, while supplies last, you can go binary for less because both the discontinued straight and curved fixed trigger models for the AR platform are deeply discounted to make room for Franklin Armory's brand new interchangeable trigger bow model, the AR Elite.
Franklin Armory, those freedom facilitators who brought you twice the fuse with their binary firing system, because it's a scientific fact that bad guys with twice as many holes in them are half as dangerous. So in the unfortunate event you should ever need your firearm for defense, remember, it's math. It can't be wrong.
And by Vortex, we've been running their new Defender line of red dots hard since before launch. They've found a home on all of our guns, whether for concealment, for competition, or for anything in between. They are rugged, they are packed with features, and they flat out perform. With the CCW, the ST, and the XL, there is a dot for you, and let's not forget their no questions asked VIP warranty, which covers just about anything. And by Hydra. The Mark 15 Hydra is the most versatile black rifle platform the industry has ever seen. The most you will ever need to convert calibers is a barrel, a bolt, and a magazine well. As if I needed any reason to hate squids more, a former sailor with a suspiciously Russian name just published a hit piece on military.com attacking 2 Virginia guardsmen for their membership in a militia and gloating about the guard opening an investigation. Konstantin Toropin served 1 enlistment in the US Navy as a SIGINT nerd, and besides writing for military.com, he's also worked for CNN since 2016. Normally, these people go after folks who are really hard to defend, like, actual Nazis or cringe Landwell LARPers. But the 2 soldiers this hack targeted are, by all accounts, dedicated and professional soldiers. Staff Sergeants Dan and Alexa Abbott are both well-educated, highly motivated soldiers with good records. They are not racists or pretenders. They care deeply about their community and nation. They are most assuredly not extremists. Toropin's article claims they made anti-government extremist statements, but fails to mention any examples of such statements. The only quote about the government included in the article at all is just based and true, and to be honest, even if it were taken entirely on its own without context, but as you gentle folk know, these scumbags live to take things out of context. So here's what Sergeant Abbott actually said.
Does government do its job? No, absolutely not even close. In fact, what is the greatest threat to your life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness in America? What do you consider to be the greatest threat? Your own government. Ironic, huh? Not a foreign power, not China, not Russia, not terrorism, not the invasion of the southern border. Our own government is the greatest threat to our safety and security. Ironic, isn't it?
But even if he really just said the US government is the greatest threat to our safety and security, period, full stop, end of mission, even if he didn't qualify it in any way, he still wouldn't be wrong. He could be subject to UCMJ for expressing that opinion, but I ran a background check on the US government, and frankly, I'm not comfortable with their history of unprovoked violence. Is that an extremist view? I don't think so. I think the government has demonstrated time after time it is willing to lie to us and kill us. Does that make me an anarchist or anti-government? Of course not. We live in a nominally free society where we can criticize our government and peaceably change it from time to time. So long as that is still true, then I'm not an anti-government extremist, and I submit that Sergeant Abbott isn't either.
Patriot, Captain.
I don't want to get rid of the government. I just wanted to make better choices. Catch a bubble! But the worst part isn't even the libelous accusations, it's that this Blue Falcon and his pals at military.com seem to have actually started the investigation he's reporting on. See, it didn't actually start with the story about the Guard investigating these troops. It started with another writer's story published just a few days earlier, clutching all the pearls about these two soldiers and their so-called extremism. Steve Bannon here really stretches hard to make this militia look like some kind of skinhead death cult thing, but the truth is, it's approved by the county and super open and public about everything. That's actually why this bottom feeder even found what he needed for his witch hunt, because the Campbell County militia is so open about everything they do, they post videos of their meetings on their social media. That's really the only reason this police state enthusiast was able to skim through hours of recordings to find that one line where Staff Sergeant Abbott said sometimes our government isn't so nice to us.
Peasants.
And naturally, this twerp called the Virginia Army Guard to ask if there's any investigation into these two model soldiers. The spokesman declined to comment, as is their custom, but 4 days later, Toropin must have been positively giddy to find out they're now investigating. Of course, that doesn't mean the Army is going to actually do anything, but I'm sure it's frustrating for a big organization like military.com to be punching down on you and feel like you have no voice. So, while my reach isn't all that great either, I'd like to give Staff Sergeant Abbott a moment to reply in his own words.
As some of you already know, an article was recently published by military.com that attacks and slanders my wife and I in Campbell County Militia. We were called racist, violent, anti-government, and even compared to the KKK. You know, the reality is, that's the farthest thing from the truth. We've never done anything except for advocating putting real power back in the hands of the American people, where it belongs. Preserving and protecting the finest republic that's ever existed in the history of the world. When I swore an oath to support and defend the Constitution and to bear true faith and allegiance to the same, I took that oath seriously. Unlike the racist hack that wrote that article. I'll stand here right now and tell you that with a firm reliance on the protection of the divine providence, I pledge to you my life, my fortune, and my sacred honor. But you know, that doesn't mean anything if red, white, and blue-blooded American patriots won't stand with me and for me.
And I'd like to encourage you to connect with them on your favorite flavor of social media and see how you can help. We'll include links for the Campbell County Militia and Sergeant Abbott's personal Facebook account, as well as a legal fund. If you are in Virginia, please reach out to the Campbell County Militia and find out how you can pitch in. If you want to link up with your brothers and link up with your friends, but don't live in Virginia, hit up Sergeant Abbott on his Facebook page. He can put you in touch with like-minded folks in your AO. And lastly, Sergeant Abbott is staring down the barrel of a career-ending legal fight, so if you can spare a few quatloos, why not donate to his legal fund? Come on, you are just going to spend that money on Gadsden flag magazines anyway. If you know anything about the 3D squirting scene, you know Ivan the Troll is an OG. He was instrumental in the design and proliferation of the FGC-9. The New York Times just doxed him by publishing his full name, his age, his state, and relationship to a public servant. They also seem to imply he has an FFL by calling him a gunmaker in the same descriptive sentence, which honestly makes sense and probably means he has all of his I's crossed and his T's dotted. But it really feels like they're hoping those IOI boys stop in to check on his compliance.
Well now, let's just see if there's anything missing.
I mean, it's not like doxing is out of pocket for the old gray hag, but I would think a decent reporter would respect anonymity. I guess anonymity only really matters when it's convenient to cover up insanely biased or untrustworthy sources. And now for your moment of zen.
Now, one of my damn internet operators, you know how that goes, So that's impossible to do a 360 hip fire on a spray paint can. Nothing's impossible, son, when I'm doing it. You better be able to prepare to pay that Coors Light. I want a 30 rack. Cold.
Hey friends, do you like pews and pew-related things? Would you like to help us keep delivering you pure American pew propaganda at the low, low price of free? We literally couldn't pay the bills without our sponsors, so do us a solid and get yourself something nice from them. You deserve it. I love you.